Alrighty. And I think we are live. Let me just start off the banner so we can go live and start counting down.
Sure.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of How to Own the Room. Welcome to Safe Space. My name is Noeline Mumbi. I am the Safe Space curator and host. Safe Space is our judgment free zone where we get to ask all the questions that we have concerning different aspects of life, of our careers, and our professional lives. It's still a part of who we are. Today I am joined by Najda. Good evening, Najda.
Hi, Nolin.
Hi.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us. So just to
Thank
introduce
you.
you to Alrighty, introducing you to Najda and to let the audience know who Najda is. Najda's career path has led her to venture and explore many different fields and finally settling into her calling in the people and culture and training field, where she has for over 14 years sought to lead with determination and change the narrative of how SHRMs, PC, and training are implied and applied in the corporate sector in the WECA region, that's West and East and Central Africa region in Africa, and has achieved great success in institutions she has had the pleasure to serve in this capacity. She is a certified professional mediator and passionate about alternative dispute resolutions in corporate and labor affairs. She is also an ardent ambassador of digitalization enablement in the HR field, spearheading the use of gamification in HR applications. Najda was awarded the first runner-up nationally in the HR Director of the Year category at the prestigious IHRM Awards Gala in December 2023. The category recognized HR directors in leadership who have profoundly shaped the future of HR, having showcased exemplary leadership and initiatives that left indelible marks on their careers and the HR landscape. Najda was celebrated as an influential Muslim in Kenya in Mombasa in November of 2019 based on her work with youth and women. She sits on the board of Akili Africa Foundation and the Farah Kalek Foundation and sits on the Business Advisory Council on INCTAS Kenya. In a nutshell, Najda is a disruptive catalyst who has and continues to shape the HR landscape in Africa. Karibu Najda.
Well, thank you so much, Nolin. Thanks for the intro, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Thank you. Thank you. So, today we are speaking about how to own the room. And I know you are very, very passionate about transformational leadership. And as we start off, I just want to ask, can you share a bit about your journey on what inspired you to focus on transformational leadership and people and culture?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I guess that's like a 15-year-old story. It started when, I may transformational leadership training and coaching. I may have started it fairly recently. I'm talking the last few years, but when I dove headfirst into it, I actually realized that journey began 15 years ago. When I
Oh.
first stepped into the world of HR, which we now call people and culture. So from my early days in HR, navigating the challenges of team dynamics, whether it's organizational culture, I realized in that point that true leadership wasn't just about managing people. As a true leader, you just can't go in and I'm managing. I'm a manager, so I'm going to manage these people under me. It was about inspiring them. That true leadership that you can feel from your soul, and you know you've made a difference, doesn't come from managing. It came from inspiring. So that's when that was a pivotal moment. Came during one of my mediation sessions where I saw firsthand, the power of empathy. Like we tend to, in the business world, whether nowadays even in the virtual world, empathy is a skill and a requirement in everything, but it's painfully becoming clear that we're losing empathy. We're losing that empathicness that humans need to have. Whether you're a boss, whether you're a sister, whether you're a mother, it's just something that needs to come in. And so in this mediation session, I experienced firsthand that power of empathy and the power of and the vision of resolving conflicts and driving positive change. I think that was the pivotal moment for me. That experience then ignited this, my passion for transformational leadership, because I inspired, like how I witnessed how inspiring and motivating others can lead to extraordinary outcomes. And I think that's what I was after. We all have that calling. We all have that vision in
Mm.
our lives. What feeds my soul? And I think for me, I want anything I do to have an extraordinary outcome, to impact somebody's, from within. And so that 10 years from now, they're doing something that they love because it was inspired by something I did. So that's what I mean. But when I say extraordinary outcomes, and then I guess the rest is now history. And today I'm committed to just empowering individuals and teams to achieve their fullest potential, fostering environments where basically creativity and innovation can thrive. Just basically trying to cultivate a generation of leaders who can make meaningful impact, not only in the organizations, but obviously the communities they live in, the countries they live in. So
Mm.
to make both corporate impact, but also a societal one. So yeah, that was my, I guess, if I were to give it to you in a nutshell, that's my journey to transformational leadership.
It's a beautiful journey, Najda, and I love what you've said about impacting people such that even after you've separated from them, they can still account for this is what this person did, this is the value that this person added in my life. And I like how passionate you are about leadership, which brings us to our topic for the day on how to own the room. Today morning, when I was putting out the post, I was just thinking, like physically being in a room when you
Yeah.
introspect, which is what I did put in the post, is where do I sit as an individual when I'm called into a physical meeting? Do I want to sit near the door, as closest to the exit as possible? Am I comfortable being around power that I can sit next to the senior most colleague in the room? Am I at the table or am I at the back row? That's just one way of looking at it, but you're the subject matter expert, and I'll just hand it over to you to speak to us more on what does it mean to own the room.
Okay. I mean, sometimes, and because the more I discuss this, or the art of presence, we call owning the room, the art of presence, the same thing, and also being in the people industry for so long, you realize how different people are. And I don't think there's anything wrong in sitting in the back of the room, sitting in the front of the room. But I feel like wherever you are in the room, you can own the room. And I think that's the
Mhm,
most important thing here. So let's imagine you walk into a room and the front row is taken. It doesn't mean you have to take the back row. Doesn't mean you can't own the room from the back row. I feel like that's so. Even if you chose to sit in the back row, I'm personally somebody who walks into a room and asks, give me the chair closest to the front. Give me the chair closest to the speakers. Give me, the front row. So because that's my strategy in owning the room. But all I'm saying is, stay. Just to clarify, sitting in the back of the room doesn't mean you cannot own it from there. So
mm,
I think it's important to note that, because sometimes circumstances are out of our control. We can't choose the front seat for whatever reason. Maybe it's a hierarchy issue. Maybe that's how your organization runs. Maybe the front row is just full. All I'm saying is, whatever the circumstance that you have not been able to get the front row or the seat at the table, wherever you are in the damn room, you can own it. That's what we're trying to say here. So
Mm.
owning the room means more than anything. And I think even as transformational leaders, whatever we discuss or in the master class that I run, it's something that will come out clearly and repeatedly until we get tired of hearing is confidence. So exuding confidence and basically gives you the presence that captivates and inspires everyone around you. So confidence, confidence, confidence. I can't say that enough. It's owning the room is about being fully engaged. You can be confident, you can know your slides, you can know what you're going to talk about, but if you're not fully engaged with the room means, imagine we're all different people. That's like you could be in a room with 10 people and that's 10 different characters, 10 different personality traits, maybe, they're different people. So being able to be engaged with these people all at one go, all at the same time, that's owning the room, commanding attention through authenticity. 100%. If you are a leader and you are a trainer, you will walk into a room and realize when somebody is just faking who they are, because they're trying to fit into that room. They're trying to fit into the leadership. They're trying to fit into those kind of things. So just uh, commanding attention through authenticities, and then connecting deeply with the audience, whether it's in the board, whether it's a training session, casual meeting. Owning the room means harnessing the power of your voice, your body language, the vision you create, and the vision to create a lasting impact. So it's not just about being heard, but about inspiring others to see possibilities. That to me is what owning the room is.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Najda, for sharing that. Now, I know you have this wonderful deck prepared for us, so I'll just hand it over to you for you to take us through this session.
Thanks. Yeah, I just thought, we're kind of having a discussion, and it's always good to have it structured. While I say, well, we know that when you're presenting, how you say, how you look when you say it, your voice, these are what account the most, but we can't ignore the fact that reading and seeing things on the screen is also impact how much you remember after. So while I thoroughly believe talking and speaking is extremely important, and how you do it, but slides are equally too. So I just want to, obviously we talked about owning the room, and I want to say hi to everyone. And I'm going to ask that right from the outset that this is not a training session, it's not a classroom. Can we just have as much interaction as possible? If you need to ask, don't wait till the end of the session. If I'm going too fast, don't wait, just type it in, and Nolene will let me know. But I think growing up, I grew up in Pangani, and back in the day when I was growing up in those streets of Pangani, we had a lot of mango trees, and I don't know what are these fruits called? They're purple, they look like berries. I don't know the name for it, but we loved climbing these trees. Okay, so, and I need to pay before I even continue. I am and have always been a big girl. So I was big bodied as a baby and as a girl growing up. So all my friends, everyone in that street used to come to my grandfather's house because his house was laden with mango trees and orange trees and those guava trees and lugart trees. So the mango ones were the highest ones and the easiest to climb. So everyone would rush there, especially Saturday after we've come from tuitions, everyone used to come there. And it was always to who can climb the fastest and the tallest tree. So they loved climbing trees. Obviously, me, I was just scared, and I was like, I don't think I can climb the tree. I was always held back by, I look different because I'm a bit bigger than the rest. But one day I decided, I'm done. Like, I'm done, and I'm just going to climb this tree, and I'm going to show off my tree climbing skills, even though I had never climbed before, but I believed I had the skills. So I found the tallest tree and I climbed it, and I climbed it so fast. And it's like, I never thought once, you've never done this before. What the hell are you doing? I just wanted to reach the top. And so as everyone was climbing their trees, I reached the top pretty fast. I was impressed with myself. But then now I'm at the top of the tree, and then I realized, I looked down and I thought, I don't think I thought this through, because now getting down was a different story. And then I was stuck. Everyone has gone up the tree. They've gathered their mangoes. They are back down there. They're even eating, and now everyone's looking up at me. I had the whole estate had gathered because the kids were some were laughing. Some adults had even gathered and started angrily shouting at me, "What were you thinking? What were you doing?" And then I also had the friends, those ones who, the sidekicks, the ones who are always, unaeza, well, you can do it. Get down, you can do it. Well, let me just tell you, it took a lot of courage, a bit of tears, and some serious prayers because me, I saw death at that point. I just life, but as life flashed before my eyes, as I reevaluated all my life choices as a child, even I did make it down safely, albeit with bruised ego and some bleeding arms and some scratches on my arms and legs.
Mhm.
But why is this important? At this point, I'm thinking this, I mean, until today, what it taught me, that experience, I must have been what, 6, 5, I don't know. But it taught me the power of one was, of course, support. Because I had the ones who were laughing, I had the ones who were angrily shouting at me, and I had the ones who were confident in me. But I
Mm.
also realized the importance of facing fears head on. Uh, I mean, I didn't think twice that I could climb this tree, yet I hadn't. Something had been holding me back until today. But the most important thing, and something I hold on until today, and that's why this story is so close to my heart, is confidence in oneself. That's what it taught me. What I derive from this story is never dive into something without planning. You need planning. I climbed, but I didn't know I'm going down. But if you must dive in without planning, have full confidence in yourself. You have, and you almost always have everything you need within yourself. So that's a lesson I carry into every professional challenge that I face to date, and it's something that that to me means the world. And I guess it happened when I was very young, so it resonates. I was both traumatized, but also enlightened by the experience, and I hope that you guys can all derive something from that. So in today's session, we're going to kind of have a brief introduction, which I honestly feel that we've discussed. We will talk about transformational leadership and how they marry into owning the room. The power of presence is something that I'm going to focus on heavily here. Um, we'll discuss some practical session strategies, and talk about how you can embrace your power. All right. So I guess you all can see the slide on the screen right now, and I'm not sure, Nadine, are we able to have
Yes.
people kind of speak in and just, or that's not how this works?
Speaking may be a bit difficult, but guys do engage on comments, so I will
Okay,
read
great.
them out for you.
So please, guys, if you can engage in the comment, how many of you have watched this movie? The movie, the picture on the screen right now is a very famous movie. I think
Mm.
it was banned in some countries, and it was a pretty X-rated movie as well. But it was very powerful. If we're going to talk today about how to own the room, the movie was called The Wolf of Wall Street. So I don't know, Noeline, if you're getting any comments, but guys, if we ask, I mean, I just want you to engage with me here, and because I'm gonna ask what are, for those of you who watched it, because I'm sure I guess because it was banned, it was one of the most watched movies. I'm not sure. And all the craziness aside, all the bad things it taught us aside, it did teach us how to own a room. Leonardo DiCaprio played the lead role, and just a small guy who started a small, I mean, who had nothing, and what he grew into. And the reason of his success is that led him to where he grew before he eventually broke, but was how he had the ability to own the room. So I just want to know, from owning the room, what did the Wolf of Wall Street teach us? And Nadine, any comments on the group or not yet on the session?
Not yet, not yet
Okay, great.
comments, so we proceed.
So
I
let's
will.
Yeah, if you when they come in, just let me know. But what
Sure.
the Wolf of Wall Street taught us a couple of things. One is, like we talked about, confidence. You'll hear this word a lot. Please just remember that it is the epitome if you want to talk about owning the room. Be confident means how you walk, how you talk, how you dress. Everything exudes confidence, right? But if you're going to talk about a topic, know your topic. And then it doesn't end there. Who are you talking to? Know your audience, understand who they are. Being confident involves power poses. We know the Wonder Woman pose. There's so many power poses that you name it. If you have to fake the confidence at that when you're standing in that room to own it, do it. But whatever the case, exude that confidence. You must be confident. That's what this movie taught us. Fake it if you have to, but exude confidence. We cannot overlook confidence if you want to attempt to own the room. Dress to impress. It's another thing that show how show up looking great, and when you look great, you feel great. Remember comfort. I mean, come on, guys. We've seen, unfortunately, we've seen ladies walk into a room wearing 6-inch heels and they can't walk in them. So that may make you look really good, but it comes off as, is she going to hurt herself? We don't want that kind of a situation. Look good means equals feel good. And remember your comfort. Relate. We're saying know your audience. Speak on their issue. When we talked about know your audience, when we say relate is different in the sense that what is their issue? What is their problem? Are you there to solve that problem? Can you solve that problem? Have a relatable discussion with them. Speak to their person, speak to their character. And then, of course, very important, respect time. People, no matter what level of the organization they are, no matter what level of whether they are underneath you as your team, above you, the fact is everyone's time is precious. Don't dilly dally. Come, say what you have to say. Make it short, make it powerful, make it simple, and like we said, relatable. And that already exudes confidence and keeps you makes basically owning the room. And last but not least, be yourself. Every one of us is different. I mean, we're individuals with different personalities, and when you embrace that personality and use it, authenticity then becomes one of the strongest displays of confidence. And guess what? It's less work, because while you have to remember your slides, you have to remember what to say, you have to remember to relate, you have to remember to respect time, you have to remember all this. And on top of that, you have to remember to be somebody that you're not in that room. It's less work when you're authentic, when your authenticity comes up. Plus, it's where you show somebody, okay, I can trust this person who's speaking because I'm authentic. So this is what the Wolf of Wall Street taught us. If you haven't watched this movie, I would say watch it, if only just to understand how to own the room. So, like I said, we're talking a lot on power of presence. What is presence? So presence is the ability to command attention, and that's where a lot of people stop. I'm just present, I'm just here to command attention. So you'll find a lot of people joking aimlessly through the night of a networking session. And yeah, okay, so they got our attention because they made some funny jokes, because their laugh was too loud. But the most important part is what and how you. So commanding attention is one thing, but owning the room is what you need to is be able to engage. So the presence is not just the ability to command attention, it's the ability to engage with others. How do you engage with others? Your demeanor, how you sit, how you stand, how you talk, how you move how you move your hands, your eye contact, your communication style. So some of these, so basically, again, what we're looking at is confidence, charisma, authenticity. So this is what power of presence is. A lot of people end at the ability to command attention, but it's not just that, it's the ability to engage. Now there's a difference. Do you want to command attention in a room, or do you want to own the room? The difference between the two is engaging, right? So why is presence so important? Why is the power of presence important? Three things. One, influence. It when I mean when you have a strong presence in the room, you're able to engage the room. It enhances your ability to influence and persuade others. So if you're a salesperson making a pitch, you're a leader trying to get the team on board, you're the next president of the African Union, and you have African nations sitting there listening to you. Why do you need to have the power of presence? Because you want to influence these people, and that's how you're able to do it. Perception. People with presence and a strong commanding presence are often perceived as more competent and trustworthy. So you want to create this perception, and that's why the power of presence is important. If you lack on that, then you're not able to give this perception that I'm competent, I'm trustworthy, you should listen to me, and you should be, be able to trust me. So perception is another reason why. So basically, Harvard Business Review says that confident body language can increase how your perceived competence. So just body language can increase how people conceive your competence by 35%. So why then do we still see people, especially in leadership roles, sitting with their hands crossed, sitting slouched with their their head between their shoulders, slouched this way, or sitting way back, hands laying hands thrown over the seat, legs fully open as if you're sitting at the beach. Where your body language is your currency when you're talking about perception and influence and engagement. So, and like we said, Harvard says 35% increase in in your competence perception if you maintain confident body language. So, what does that mean? Of course, open arms, don't cross your arms, uh, back straight, shoulders back, head held high. Speak with from your gut, not from your throat. Keep eye contact. And of course, another reason why presence is important is engagement. Um, if you're able to captivate your audience, you're able to make your message more memorable. You're able to speak more directly to them. They're able to respond to you, ask you questions, or just smile and have eye contact with you because you're engaging with them, and that's why it's extremely important. Now, how do we uh, achieve the power of presence? Preparation and practice. Um, we talked about confidence being a key requirement when it comes to owning the room. But we've all heard about overconfidence. Overconfidence can kill everything. Now, overconfidence is where it comes in is I don't need to practice my pitch. Come on, I've done that thing like 30 times. But the fact remains is you might know those slides because you've done it 30, 300 times for that matter, but your audience always changes. So how, when you say prepare and practice, you're not just practicing the slides that you're going to present in that presentation, you're practicing how you'll present them to that demographic, to that audience, because your audience always changes, even if your slides don't, even if your content doesn't, even if your pitch doesn't, even if your speech doesn't. So preparation and practice, know your material inside and out. The more prepared you are, the more confident you feel. That like is a literal translation of confidence. If you are not prepared, you will not feel confident in your slides or your content, and that lack of confidence comes out in the room, and just like that, you've lost the room, right? So how to achieve the power of presence? We said preparation and practice. Then mindfulness and staying present. This is very important because if you're in the room, so you're not on your phone, you're not thinking about how you can fail in this presentation or in this networking. You're not busy thinking about, oh my god, I left I didn't give my cat food this morning when I left the house. Now it's no, you're present, you're focused in that present moment. You're noticing everyone's smile and frown, and everyone's change of tone. You're noticing that the room is switching off from your presentation. When you stay present, you're able to notice these things and change your tactic, raise your voice, do whatever you need to. So focusing on the present moment allows you now to engage with your audience at that level, and it reduces the anxiety and enhances the connection, because now that you're connecting with them at a level where you're not even speaking, you're just connecting with their facial expressions, with how much they're looking at their phone, all these kind of things. It makes you feel, oh my god, I'm connected with this room already. Your anxiety levels have gone down, your confidence levels have gone up, and it creates that connection. Now somebody's realizing you're looking at him as you're making this presentation, you're looking at her, and they're now, head is tilted, they're smiling at you. That's already a sign that they're connected with you. Head tilted on the side, eye connection, smiling from your audience, or just head tilted, or somebody's nodding as you're talking. That is showing you I'm connected, I'm listening to you. Especially, of course, we're not talking when you're doing it virtually, which is where the world is heading now, maybe more physical presentations. And then some body language. We talked about how we said 35% of how people perceive your competence is based on your body language. So here are some tips. Like I said, stand tall. We all tend to slouch, whether you're seated or you're standing. Once you stand tall, not only are you telling the person watching you, your audience, that I am confident, the immediate confidence it gives you is out, it's astonishing. Make eye contact, because that's like, we all know the eyes, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. That's exactly what this means. Look at somebody when you're talking to them. Don't look down at their shoes, don't look away on the side. When you make eye contact, it means you are commanding me to connect with you. Already I respect you, and then it means you are so confident in what you're saying that you are able to look me in the eye. So it's extremely important. Just stand tall, just make eye contact. And the next most simplest thing, smile. We tend to be, when you don't have the confidence, or you're super anxious, or you didn't prepare, or you're nervous, all those things lead to you. You're talking, you're going through your presentation slides, you're reading word for word. You've not even had this chance to take a deep breath, look at your audience, smile with them. And that's like such a simple thing you do, but the power of it is also astonishing. So your body language speaks volumes. Before you even say a word, how you've walked in, how you've been able to smile at everyone, make eye contact, greet with a firm handshake, sit down, whether you crossed your legs and sitting with your head held high, and you've not said a word already, compared to everyone else in that room who is not doing the things you've just done. You have commanded the attention of that room, and just like that, you've changed you've owned the room. So very simple tips on how you can manage this. We all overlook them because of how simple they are, without understanding the power that they hold. So realizing your presence. Now we've talked about what is presence, why it's important, how to achieve it, and now how you will retain it is personal reflection. We always need to look back, reflect on your past experiences, identify those moments when you felt you were not present in the room, and the moments you felt you were truly present, the moments you did really bad, and the moments you did really well. Analyze them internally. What contributed to those feelings of power and confidence? What contributed to the feelings of lack of power and lack of confidence? What contributed to you feeling horrible after interaction, and what contributed to you feeling so great? Once you understand what ticks you off and what doesn't, you're able to avoid or or capitalize on these things the next time. So you can't say that you're going to be present and all that, but you're not reflecting personally on your past experiences. Number two, feedback and improvement. My god, we really need to embrace feedback. I think there are some cultures out there, especially the West, Europe. Feedback culture is massive. I mean, we are human beings. We rely on feedback. We love, opinions and people to tell us when we did great. Don't all of you love to be told, "Oh my God, you are amazing. You've changed my life." We will love to hear feedback, and this helps us again capitalize on what we did right, so we can continue or work on where we went wrong. I mean, Oprah Winfrey once said that when she had Barack Obama on her show, she said after he spoke, this is Barack Obama, you guys. I mean, he was the first black president in the States. He took the world by storm, let alone America. One of the best orators and speakers the world has known. And once he finished recording with Oprah on stage, he leaned back to her and he said, "How did I do?" And this, if you ever feel shy, I don't know why we shy away from asking for feedback. If you ever feel like you don't know if you should ask for feedback, always remember Barack Obama looked to Oprah and asked how he did. Just remember that, and it should make you feel like, okay, if he can do it, I will do it too. Feedback and improvement. Seek feedback from trusted colleagues, mentors, your managers. Continuously work on improving your and continuously work on improving your presence, because then if somebody says this, and you'll be shocked. Sometimes the feedback is, "Listen, you're great. You do come and command the room. Sometimes you do, but we are falling short on one thing. What is it, my friend? Tell me." You have bad breath, or You have, maybe your personal hygiene. You come in, your sweat has a strong smell. You'll be shocked how you've done everything, but that's the one that left you down. We all know how hard it is to concentrate, no matter how amazing someone is. If they've walked into the room, and no matter how well they're dressed and how well they speak and how amazing they present themselves, the room, the smell in the room is overbearing. That's the kind of feedback, and no one can come and tell you this. Because, so two things: we need to create a culture of giving feedback and create a culture of receiving feedback. You might have a manager who loves to give you feedback, but then you're the type who can't receive it. You're always just, when somebody comes and says, ah, this one just hates me because I'm better than them. Alternatively, so that stops you from that. So I'm just saying, feedback and improvement, very key to realizing and maintaining your presence. And then consistency in your behavior, your communication. It builds a reliable and strong presence over time. So I've come in now. I'm considering you for promotion to be the next manager of this team, right? As I move on to maybe something else. But in the last 3 months, for 3 sessions that you've had, like only one, maybe in the on 10 sessions that you've had, maybe 3 or 4 you were great, the rest you weren't. There's no consistency in your behavior. There's no consistency in your communication style, in your presentation style. When you have consistency, it builds that reliability. And it, now I can know, as now your lead manager, that I can promote this person because I can rely on their consistency in the way that they present themselves. So we talked about, I'm just going to go over this again: preparation and practice. One of the key strategies on how to own the room. Knowing your material, we said it reduces your anxiety, it builds your confidence. But practicing your presentation multiple times, for example, how can you do it? Rehearse in front of a mirror. Record yourself. We all have phones nowadays. You can easily record yourself and hear how you sound, or and then pick up on where you could do better. Present to a friend or a colleague. And most importantly, prepare for questions, those impromptu ones that you can't understand. Basically, what happens is, once you prepare for those potential questions, you can navigate how to clearly have some answers ready, even when they you may. Okay, thank you so much for your question. It's a bit too technical for me to answer right now. However, I have your details and I'm going to respond to you. Immediately I get back to the office. Basically, um, preparation makes you prepare even for those dodgeballs that come to you that you weren't prepared for. We said mindfulness and staying present. How do you do that? Focus on your breathing. Stay calm. Stay centered. Some grounding techniques, for example, feeling like your shoes or whatever. Just being able to move your toes inside your shoes and feel the floor beneath you. Because what happens is, when we get overtaken by anxiety, we feel like we're almost not even touching the floor, and that gives us the notion of oh my god, I'm not grounded, I'm not stable. So just being able to rub your toes inside your shoes and feel the floor beneath you, that's called grounding. Another thing is, you tend, I'm sure you've seen this, people holding on to a ball, a stress ball or something, as they're presenting. Sometimes these small techniques actually really help you in mindfulness and staying present. Why? Because when you're not, you tend to, like, your mind sway, your mind wanders. It goes into all these other things, like we said. All you'll be thinking, oh my god, I shrugged, I said this word wrong, this guy's laughing, this guy's smiling a bit too much, or is it just laughing at me? Your mind wanders. Having a small object that you're holding on to, or feeling your feet on the floor, it keeps you present. It keeps your mind in the present space. We talked about first impression. So it takes only 7 seconds, according to Forbes. It takes only 7 seconds to make the first impression on someone. So if you think that head high, eye contact, walking tall doesn't matter, it does, because this is according to Forbes. 7 seconds to make the first impression, and I've made up my mind about you. Non-verbal communication is extremely crucial. Like I said, you don't have to be able. It's not just how you speak and how you sound. 55% of communication is body language. 38% is the tone of the voice you're using, and only 7% is the actual words that we say. This is a study from 1967 that counts till today. So basically, non-verbal communication plays a huge impact in how you will, I mean, in your strategy on owning the room. So I know I keep coming back to this, but a very important, just key body language tips. We said stand tall, maintain a confident posture, back straight, shoulders back. That's like the key one, the most powerful feeling you can have. Back straight, shoulders back. Even right now, as you're sitting and listening to this discussion, I'm sure some of you are slouched. We're all slouched. I was until I read that, and I quickly put my back straight and my shoulders back. So studies show, according to Harvard, that good posture can make you appear more confident and competent. When I said fake it, this what exactly what I meant. Guys, listen. 15 years in transformational leadership and people and culture, and I feel like I've navigated, so much to build the confidence I have today. But nobody should lie to you that that confidence is 100% every day. There are days that your confidence just doesn't show up. There are days that weeks can go by, months. You've gone through a breakup, you're going through a divorce. For ladies, maybe it's your menstrual cycle, which gets our hormones crazy. A new pimple on your face. You just lost. You had to shut down your business because you went bankrupt. Are you honestly expecting that your confidence will be high on those days? It won't. It comes and goes. It has its high and lows. And that's why having such discussions are critical, because they just remind us that we are not robots. We can't be at 100% confident all the time. But even on those days that they're low, you can still appear confident and competent. How? We're going through it right now. Back straight, shoulders back, eye contact, smile. Some days you are doing it authentically, it's coming out naturally because you're great, you had a great day. Some days you're just faking it because you still need this deal, you still need to own the room. But these are the tips that you're going to be able to use in any case, whether it's authentic or you're faking it for that day because you had a horrible day or a week or whatever. In both cases, these body language tips have to be applied, because if you're saying you want to own the room but you've come with slouched shoulders, your head is between your shoulders, your back is not straight, you're not making eye contact, you're not smiling, you don't own the room, whether you had a great day or not. So Harvard Business Review says a good posture can make you appear more confident and competent. How do we do that? Back straight, shoulders back. Making eye contact, engaging with your audience through eye contact shows that you are confident and trustworthy. So, psychological science page says research indicates that people who make eye contact are perceived as more credible and likable. Again, I'm repeating, eyes, windows to the soul. When I look you in the eye, I'm not lying to you. I'm being, you know, true to my word. I am confident, and you end up liking me. You notice, oh my God, this guy, looking straight at me, or she's looking straight at me. It makes you more credible and likable. A genuine smile can help you build a rapport and put your audience at ease in an instant. Instantly, you can feel like your audience can feel more at ease just with you smiling at them. So you've walked on the stage, you have 100 people looking at you, and you just smile. You try and make eye contact with as many people as you can in that room with a genuine smile on your face, and everyone's at ease. That's how you start your session. Now, according to Psychological Bulletin, smiling releases endorphins. We all know this, basic science. What does endorphins do? It reduces stress and makes you feel more positive. But as you're smiling, it's contagious. Remember, smiling is contagious. So I smile as well. Now you've helped me release my endorphins and and now I'm less stressed and feeling more confident. And that is how, ladies and gentlemen, just with the smallest smile, as long as it's genuine, you are able to own the room and make that lasting impact, because you've just, I mean, come on, who doesn't want somebody to reduce their stress, kidogo? Open gestures, avoid crossing your arms, which can appear defensive. Now you've crossed your arm, you're just defensive, you're closing me out. You're closing me out, so I won't interact with you, I won't engage with you. You appear defensive. But if you open your arms, you have more welcoming gestures. So open gestures make you will appear more approachable and friendly. Control your movements. So a lot of times we tend to fidget, we have unnecessary movements. This can be distracting. So control movements demonstrates self-assurance, it demonstrates poise, it demonstrates confidence. I'm going to just skip this one because I think we've gone through it. So I think we're coming, I mean, we're past the middle of the discussion already. And we talked at the start about transformational leadership and why it's so important. And I want to first touch in one slide, as though this is possible, but I hope I managed. What is transformational leadership? So basically, it's the approach that causes change in individuals and social systems. It's not just leadership, not leadership as we know it, not the leadership we are used to in Africa. You know, the style, the this. When I run a transformational leadership masterclass, and that's something. If it's something that interests you, it's a life-changing masterclass, and it's something I would encourage anyone to do. That one goes into much more detail, the types of leadership, why transformational leadership. But today we're talking just about this. And so, despite the in differentiating from all the other leadership styles, transformational leadership causes change in individuals, change in social systems. It's not just I'm leading, I'm your leader, follow me. No, it causes that change. It creates valuable and positive change with the end goal of developing your followers into leaders themselves, right? So leadership, transformational leaders tend to inspire, motivate, they engage their teams to be more into innovative, creative, creating the change that will help grow and shape the future success of the company, of the country, of your society, whatever it is that you're seeking to change. Now, why is transformational leadership important? You'll see how these 3 points marry into what we were just discussing. Transformational leadership is important because it increases engagement. So leaders who inspire and motivate significantly boost team engagement and productivity. So, like Gallup reports that organizations with transformational leaders are 4 times more likely to have highly engaged employees. Highly engaged employees equals high performance. High performance directly translates to business revenue. Number two, it encourages innovation. So when you foster an environment where creativity, innovation is valued, then transformational leaders drive that innovation. And companies that encourage creativity outperform other companies by 30% in revenue growth, because you're allowing people, you're growing your followers into leaders and allowing them their space to think outside the box, be creative. And we all know, creativity leads to growth. So number three, it builds trust and commitment. So transformational leaders tend to create a culture of trust and of commitment, which enhances team cohesion and loyalty. When you say I want to be a transformational leader, doesn't mean that you are this you can only be a transformational leader if you are the CEO, or you are the president of Kenya, or the president of the African Union, or the Secretary General of the UN. No, anybody has the potential to become a transformational leader if you interact with one or more people, that you're not stuck in a bubble living in the corner of a room your whole life. If you have the potential to interact with one or more people, you have the potential to become a transformational leader, and you must become a transformational leader. So this is what I'm trying to sell to. Transformational leadership coaches try to sell. So some key skills of transformational leadership that directly marry into owning the room. We said vision. Vision is a key skill of transformational leadership. It's the ability to create and communicate a compelling vision for the future. So when you articulate a clear vision, you captivate and inspire your audience. This aligns to owning the room by engaging people with your foresight, with your strategic thinking. Another skill of transformational leadership is inspiration. So motivating, energizing your team to be their best, the best version of themselves. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. So a transformational leadership leader uses body language, their tone, storytelling to connect emotionally with their audience, making them feel motivated and valued. Empathy, understand, we remember it started off with empathy when we were discussing, and I said basically what is empathy? It's understanding and sharing the feelings of others. So I'm sitting here as a leader listening to you telling me how you need alone, or 1 week off because you, I mean, you maybe had a miscarriage and you lost your child, and it's crazy to fathom. But some leaders, it's not my problem. I'm sorry. Just do what you need to do. But I need you back in the office tomorrow. Some tend to do that, but we're saying empathy is sharing those feelings with somebody else, so that you can build a strong, trusting relationship. It just means I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to you right now. You take all the time you need. Please just hand over to Alex before you leave the office, so that the project can continue. If there's anything else I can do, let me know. So you've already ensured your project won't stand still. It's going to continue. You couldn't say much, maybe because you don't even know how do you tell what do you tell a lady who's just had a miscarriage? Honestly, what do you tell her apart from I'm there for you, if you need anything just let me know. So understanding your audience needs and emotions helps you tailor your message. So how does this transformational skill come into owning the room? When you have empathy, you're able to tailor your message, delivering it, making it more relatable and more impactful. This is the key to creating a powerful presence. And another transformational leadership skill is adaptability. By being flexible and open to change. Come on, if COVID taught us anything, it's what? It's the world is not going to give you a notice that change is about to happen. You need to be adaptable. So, and being adaptable, having the adaptability skill just enables you to respond effectively to challenges when they happen. So, technical difficulties during a presentation, the electricity is just gone, there's no your slides have just disappeared. Being able to adapt to that situation and stay calm and be resourceful under that pressure enhances your command of the room. Of course it does. Everyone watching is thinking, wow, she turned that situation around, and she just took a start, rolled in the maybe a whiteboard, got some markers. You remember, when you're confident enough in your slides, you know the content. I don't, if now they've disappeared, I'll go ahead with what I need to. And the leader sitting in that room, I have just realized this is a leader presenting to us right now because she was able to, or he was able to adapt. So we've covered the importance of presence. We've talked about key leadership skills, which is transformational skills and practical strategies. And basically, this is just, I'm just saying, embrace your power. I think in trying to do this in 1 hour was a hard task. It's very hard to talk to people you can't see and can't interact with. It's very hard to be able to tell these people that this is how you own a room. But I managed to put them in slides and show key statistics. So even if you're a business owner or you work for a business, you can understand that these are research that shows the direct contribution to, for example, your business revenue and stuff like that. Practice the skills. Embrace your power to inspire others. It's in each and every one of you. If the only difference is, there are those who choose to use it and there are those who choose not to use it. In the words of Amelia Earhart, the most effective way to do it is to just do it. All right. So, like I said, embrace your power. That's me, Nalin. I think I've capped it within an hour. I would like to just say is obviously join me in this journey of transformational leadership. Stay connected. You'll find me on LinkedIn as Najda Begum Khan. I'm on all my socials as I am Najda. My website is najdakhan.com. Um, if you want to hear more about the Transformational Leadership Masterclass, you can reach me at iamnajda@gmail.com. There are also other masterclasses I run. So not just this one. This is what I focused on today. And thank you for joining this session. And I guess I'll end by saying, let's continue to inspire and lead with confidence. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Najda, for joining us. Please just keep the last page on screen so that anyone who wants to reach out to you can be able to start taking down the details as we proceed. And your presentation was so well done, so detailed that most of the questions that came through have already in one way or the other been answered, because there's a question about how does body language contribute, what role does effective communication play, and most of this you have answered, but I want to show you just a few of the ones that have come in now that maybe you could speak more
Mhm.
uh, to. So let me just show them as a banner at the bottom of the screen. So one of the audience is asking, how do you remain authentic while trying to relate? For example, if you're speaking with people who have different values and you're trying to relate, but they make you feel less authentic.
Okay. Wow. Um, I guess this came from Evelyn Gathuru. I can see it as well on my
Yeah.
screen. This
Yeah.
is it. Evelyn, oh my God, it reminds me of when we were in Northeastern. I was working for an NGO, and we were leading a campaign against female genital mutilation. And obviously, we were talking against it, and we were holding workshops of why it shouldn't be done. But we were presenting to communities that believed from the bottom of their soul that this is our right and this is our culture and we have to do it. So you're speaking to people with different values, and these are not just different values, they even believe it's religious, or it's from God himself. And here you are. Now, two things come out very clearly in how we're going to answer it. Number one, confidence. Remember that you are confident in what you believe. You have come well equipped to answer these questions. And one of the skills that we just talked about was empathy. Be empathic. You cannot change their minds. Remember, you're not there to come and tell them you have to change your values, and we are here to whitewash everything you believe in, everything how you dress and how you eat. No, no, we're here to be empathic. I am going to focus. I respect your values and how different they are from mine, and that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss that in the last 1 year 900 girls have died from overbleeding or infection. How can we reduce this? Okay, so as a structure, we had to realize number one was to train them on how they cannot use the same blade. Number two is to train them on how their sons have stopped marrying girls from that community because they, they they had no sexual feelings when you're sleeping with them because you've removed the part that gave them feelings. Number three, and then it became a structured way into and understanding them, and then them understanding why this needs to change into a reduced number of girls who are going through FGM. So all I'm trying to say is when you go in there with a clear vision and you are confident in your data, in your presentation, in your whatever it is you're selling on that day, and you're topping off with empathy, because if you go there like a bulldozer, like a bull in a china shop, you'll just create more damage. You will definitely not own the room. They will definitely make you feel less authentic. Don't change yourself to the situation, but understand that empathy goes a long way, and you can only understand that and come to that understanding and realization if you're confident enough in why you're there in the first place. And I hope that I've been able to answer that question.
Yes, yes, you have. Thank you so much for responding to that. Let me just show the next one. How do you deal with a hostile or non-responsive audience?
Okay. um Number one is, when you say hostile, I don't. I'm guessing somebody who's about to walk up to you and hit you. I don't know. That could be a mediation case, maybe a political situation. The tempers are high. In that kind of a situation, please do not continue with the presentation. Do not continue with focusing on owning the room. You have to be able, as the leader in that room, to show that you have the ability to tell when things cannot continue. Is just being able to say, I think that the situation has overcome us all. You don't pick on one person, you just overcome us all. And I'd like to please ask that we close for the day and reschedule another day. But if it wasn't hostile, but it was just kind of, maybe you're in a training and you've lost maybe you went off track, or you didn't stick to your slides, or the room can be difficult sometimes even if you're doing everything. An icebreaker, a small activity, or even just if it's gone out from you, don't call it a day. You can just be able to say, guys, I think that we've had a very intensive session so far. Let's quickly get up and grab a cup of coffee. We all could all do with some caffeine right now, and we'll be back in 15 minutes. Please grab your coffee, answer your emails, and I'll see you back. being able to, just make it light, make it fun, make it look like even you need this break. You've just taken control over the situation again. You've given people the break that they need, because maybe those executives have been in the room with you for 2 hours. They're busy people. They have to take some calls and emails. Give them the time that they need, so that they go do what they need to do and come back to you, to your training, to you to own the session. Another thing is, obviously, we know in 2 hours sitting, everything, you need the caffeine. Caffeine is a good kick. Use the coffee as an excuse. Get people to have some coffee. And I think that would be my response to your question.
Thank you. Thank you, Najda, for responding to that. One more question, actually, two, in the interest of time.
Mhm.
I would love to hear more on managing anxiety. Sometimes, no matter how prepared uh, how prepared I suppose she meant or he meant, no matter how prepared you can be, this can throw you off balance.
Okay, great. That's a very good question. It was by Joyce, I believe. Joyce, the issue here is that anxiety is not something that should be taken lightly. If you have anxiety, and anxiety presents itself as panic attacks, memories that just won't go out of your head. You can't sleep, you can't focus, you can't concentrate. It can be mild, it can be really severe. Anxiety is always a sign that we are dealing or not dealing with something that, probably a past trauma, something that we're going through. And so basically anxiety becomes a symptom of, a bigger issue. So you cannot manage anxiety like it's a 2-year-old baby. You can just put a bottle in its mouth and it'll go away. You can't manage anxiety like a cut on your knee that you just wipe with Dettol and you put a sellotape. I mean, not sellotape. Yeah, what's it called? Elastoplast. No, it's anxiety needs therapy. Anxiety needs sometimes just maybe talking to a friend. Anxiety needs maybe you facing the situation that you're trying to cover under the rug. Whatever it is, anxiety does not go away. It just starts from a small black dot and becomes a huge black hole that just sucks everything out of you. So please, the one way that you will be able to manage anxiety is exactly that: manage it, deal with it, see a therapist, talk to a friend, talk to a parent, talk to a colleague. If it's your boss, talk to your boss. Whatever it is, whichever situation it is that you need to deal with it, start breaking it down. Write. Journaling really helps. Getting the anxious thoughts out of you into a book, where you've written it down. Those are some tips. But I cannot stress enough that anxiety can really ruin lives. And if you need to seek attention of a therapist, please do. Now, when you've dealt, because if you do not deal with that anxiety, all these things I've talked about for 1 hour plus is jargon, because anxiety will sit over everything. Into all that effort you're going to put into looking good, smelling good, feeling good, reading, memorizing your presentation, standing straight, eye contact, all that doesn't present itself if anxiety has taken over you and your thoughts. So yes, it can throw you off balance, and not just for that session or not just for that room, but for a huge chunk of your life, for as long as you leave it unattended to. So my answer is exactly that: manage it, find ways to manage it. Therapy, talking to friends, relatives, journaling, these are all ways to help.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Najda. And our last question for the evening: how do you own a virtual room? Kind
Hmm.
of like this one that we have right now.
I guess exactly. I don't know if you can answer your own question from maybe how I did it, unless you think I could have done better. There's always room for improvement. No one ever reaches the epitome. But the thing is, it's difficult, but it's whether you see it this way or not, it's actually the easiest thing to do now than it was 4 years ago. Before COVID, Nolin, come on, would we ever even be having such a session? The fact is, we wouldn't. COVID has taught us that virtual sessions, virtual meetings, virtual presentations, virtual therapy, even therapy is done virtually nowadays. There is nothing you can't do. Um, AR and all these other companies have virtual doctor sessions. Yani, everything is virtual. All right. So it may still be difficult for some to do it now, but remind yourself it is easier for any single person today than it was 4 years ago, before this notion even existed. That's number one. Number two, always, I still feel I can't see you. I can't see your faces. I can't smile at you. I can't keep eye contact with you. But I have been able to ask you to interact with me. I have been able to ask for questions to come in as they flow, ask me to stop if I'm going too fast. I've been able to monitor my tone. I've been happy. I've been a bit sad. I've been excited. I've not talked with them. Monica, so there are people who talk like this and they don't actually move from there. This is exactly how you do not own a room. Please do not keep a monotone. That's the worst thing you can do in a virtual or a physical room. Always ask, am I going too fast? Are you still with me? Is there anything you need clarity on? What is your opinion on this? What do you think about this? This is engagement, engagement, engagement. It doesn't only happen when you're in a physical room, it has to happen when you're in a virtual room. If you are in a session not like this one that doesn't allow cameras or people to open their mics, but maybe in a Teams conference, a Teams or Zoom, if you're having a presentation, if you're having a training, ask people, I'd love to see you, I'd love to interact with you. Please, my camera is on, my mic is on as well. Kindly turn on your cameras. Let me see who I'm dealing with, who I'm talking with. Please, you turn on the mic anytime you have a question, and make sure your video is on and your mic is on all the time. So you can't tell people that you want to see them, but yours isn't. So I hope that is some way to answer your question.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. Thank you so much, Najda, for making the time. We've gotten some feedback here, and Salim says, very insightful session. This has prepared me to handle my next BOD meeting confidently. Prepared to own the room. Thank you so much, Salim,
Thank
for the comment. Thank you very much.
thank
Najda,
you
I
so much.
want to say thank you on behalf of the audience, on my own behalf also. Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you so much for sharing of your knowledge and for even making the presentation, because this is a lot of information. It's very detailed, it's relatable, and it even provokes self-assessment, and I appreciate that. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me, Nolene, and all of you who stuck through the session. Thank you so much for your time and your audience, and you've been great. And I loved having this session. Thank you so much. I look forward to more.
Thank you. So, to everyone in the audience who is joining us live right now, and to those of us who are going to be catching the recording later, these are Najda's details. I will also share them in the comment section for ease of access. She has shared that she runs a masterclass. You have received first row view of what a masterclass with Najda looks like. So please do reach out to her, do register for her masterclass, do reach out to her for consultations, for advice, and I'm sure she'll be willing to answer you. She's very approachable. I can completely vouch for her. So please do reach out to Najda. And before we log off the call, just write in the comment section what has been your biggest takeaway, what has been your learning during this session. That said, I am cognizant of time. I will say have a fantastic evening to everyone who is joining us from the East Africa region right now, and have a fantastic balance of day from wherever you are, from wherever or whichever part of the globe you're joining us from. We will see you next week for the ergonomics session. Bye, everyone, and thank you.